at visitingangels.com.
Eritrea's information minister rejecting a UN report that claims human rights abuses have been rampant in the country since 1991.
The Commission says the crimes against humanity include torture, rape, murder and enslavement. The Commission recommends the UN Security Council refers the situation to the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. Eritrea has described the report as null and void.
That's the BBC's Mary Harper. An Egypt airplane had to make an emergency landing today in Uzbekistan following a bomb threat. No bomb was found, though. The airliner later resumed its flight to Beijing, the latest in a series of air travel incidents involving Egypt. Officials say that no bomb was found after the Airbus jetliner and its passengers were searched by explosives experts. The plane took off for the Chinese capital 4 hours after it landed. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Senate continues working on and squabbling over a Pentagon money bill.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says this defense policy bill is extremely important.
We have to modernize our defenses, keep up technological advances, and recognize threats.
Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid says per an agreement last year, defense and domestic spending should be on an equal footing.
Senate Republicans are demanding billions more for the Pentagon, but refuse to provide an extra penny for the middle class. And that's wrong.
Senators still have several amendments to work through before they can pass the defense authorization bill. Linda Kenyon, Capitol Hill.
Employers may be growing cautious amid concerns about slow economic growth. The Labor Department says employers advertised the most open jobs in 9 months in April. However, they pulled back on filling those jobs. Hiring did slip for a second straight month. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the place locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson, on this beautiful Wednesday, June the 8th. Already hard to believe, already as June is evolving right before our eyes. Beautiful weather. This is Sports Scene interview show every Wednesday, noon to 1, right here on News Talk 1650. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Invite you to watch sports highlights this month on nnpstv.com on the homepage where the Tides are showcased. Tell your friends about 1650. Twitter, @GregBick, and all my Twitter handles on gjbtv.com. You can see all 4 of them. Thank you to our military as well. Great guest lineup today. Featured guest Jim Hunter, the voice of the Orioles on radio and TV. We'll talk about the Machado fight coming up shortly. Sponsors on the homepage of gjbtv.com, as well as the marketplace sponsors. Guest lineup presented by Mi Casita Mexican Restaurant with 2 great locations in Virginia Beach. See all the restaurants on Hampton Roads Online Mall.com as well. Sponsors this month in June: Fink's Car Care, Spaghetti Eddie's, Long's Billiards in Newcastle. Also, the NBA going on a lot. As far as Cleveland, what will they do? They're down 2-0. San Jose, Pittsburgh coming up tomorrow. In the NHL, Penguins are up 3-1. Also want to welcome Postal World. They'll be starting with us on July 1st. And all the great staff there in Yorktown. You can see their link on Hampton Roads Online Mall.com, retail section number 3. And, of course, on Twitter as well. So congratulations and kudos to the good people over at Postal World as well. Muhammad Ali passed away. A lot of you know that he might have been controversial at one time, but he beat the likes of Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, George Foreman, and Larry Holmes as well. He was 56-5. He fought those guys. He was very good with mankind. He was an ambassador, very generous of his time. The Olympics, he was good to kids, a worldwide leader. Sure, he had issues with religion, and he was outspoken, and he was pretty much social media before there was social media. Muhammad Ali was. And, of course, he was, involved with the controversy of the Vietnam War and race and so forth. But he evolved. He said it like it was. He will be missed. Muhammad Ali will be having his services later this week. And also condolences to Kimbo Slice, controversial type UFC boxer. But sorry to see those 2 gentlemen who passed away. Sports Scene got great interviews, business segments, highlights, commentary. What teased me off? Again, Muhammad Ali, who took on the likes of Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, George Foreman, Larry Holmes. This show is dedicated to him today. Coming up with Jim Hunter, this is Sports Scene on 1650 AM, tunein.com, type in WHKT, @GregBick on Twitter, that's GregBic. Friend me on Facebook, Greg Bicouvaris, at 1210 with Ken Johnson. We'll be back after these messages.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball. See the green. Catch up on archived editions of Sports Scene by going to gjbtv.com and clicking the YouTube image on the homepage. Now back to Sports Scene on 1650 AM and tunein.com.
And welcome back live to Sports Scene right here in Virginia Beach. Of course, 12-11, as you guys know, the Norfolk Tides are the AAA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. And, of course, we want to welcome one of the voices of the Orioles. And I first kind of crossed paths with him when he was working for CBS Radio Sports way back in the 80s when I was interning at WCBS. We're talking about Jim Hunter. Jim, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
Very good. What a 24 hours you've had the last 24 hours. I just saw you Saturday night during the Fox Showcase game against the Yankees, but wow, the Royals series has taken on a life of its own.
Well, it has, and it's unfortunate. The Royals came into Baltimore on Monday having been swept in Cleveland, and they're just not playing well right now. They're not hitting, and when you can't score, they went into last night's game having lost 4 in a row, and they scored a total of 3 runs in 4 games. The frustrations begin to mount. And then last night, Yordano Ventura just got absolutely pounded in the first inning. And 6 batters into the bottom of the first, the Orioles had a 4-0 lead. And if Lorenzo Cain doesn't rob Pedro Alvarez of a 2-run home run, it's a 6-0 game, and they still have 1 more out to play with. So it was one of those nights where you have a frustrated team because they're not playing well and not scoring, and you have a pitcher who has a history of taking matters into his own hands, who was not pitching well, who got really beat around very, very easily early in the game, and it was a 5-0 lead at the end of 2 innings. And then later on, you had what happened with Manny. So it's kind of it was the quiet storm waiting to happen because of the MO of Ventura and what he's been through in the past.
We're talking to Jim Hunter, the voice of the Orioles, right here on Sports Scene. Glad you're with us right here on News Talk 1650. Of course, the Orioles won that game 9-1. They're 34-23. What is it about Ventura, Jimmy? It seems like he's got a big chip on his shoulder.
Well, I just really believe that it's there's some anger issues there. There has to be, because this isn't the first time. I mean, last year when he got suspended for it involved the White Sox, a team in their division, and it was in back-to-back series. It was in Kansas City first, and then when they played them in Chicago the next time they saw each other, he did it again. So there's obviously some anger issues there, but what the young man doesn't seem to understand is that when you throw that hard, you're endangering somebody's life and career.
Yes.
And you never take matters into your own hand. Now, I'm not suggesting that he stop pitching inside. I know there are some out there, and I know some of the Royals announcers on their broadcast last night were suggesting that Manny's a baby and he wants the ball out over the plate so he can extend his arms, and that couldn't be further from the truth. You need to pitch inside to be effective, but you need to pitch inside effectively. You don't pitch inside at somebody's head. Mm-hmm. And in Manny's at-bat in the second inning, they were 2-seam fastballs that do right in. I realize that the pitch is designed to do that, but you don't come inside at somebody's head. You come in at the belt and back them off the plate. Maybe you go at the legs to get the feet moving. But he came in at his head, and that's why Manny was so upset, and you can't blame him. So I don't know what the deal is with Ventura, but I'll tell you, one of the things that I did notice last night, I think his teammates are getting tired of the act, because if you watch the replay of Manny getting beamed and Manny going to the mound, usually the catcher pounces out to grab the hitter before he gets even close to the pitcher. And you watch Salvador Perez, he took his mask off and he walked behind Manny all the way out to the mound, not once even gesturing that he was going to try to stop him. And it wasn't until Manny got to Ventura, punched him, and pulled him to the ground that Salvador Perez then decided, okay, I think I better get him off him. That tells me a lot about Kansas City. Their own teammates are getting a little tired of his act, because the other part of this, too, is I don't think the Orioles will retaliate tonight because it'll be too obvious, and Buck is not that kind of a manager. Tillman is not that type of a pitcher who's going tonight. But if I'm Lorenzo Cain or if I'm Eric Hosmer, I'm scared to death tonight.
Yeah.
And that's no way to go to the plate to hit, because their pitcher has set them up to be injured for retaliation because they're the stars of the team. And if you're going to retaliate, that's who you go after. So, it's a tired act. You can blame Manny if you want for charging the mound, but, 2 pitches close, one at your head in the second inning, and then he doesn't even wait around. The very first pitch, he throws the hardest fastball he threw all night, and it comes right in on his hip bone. And Manny was limping going out to the mound, so hopefully he's okay today. But it's just there's no reason for that. You can pitch inside effectively and not go after somebody's body or head. And Ventura, I don't get it. I mean, he's a young man. He's got anger issues, obviously, or this wouldn't keep happening. And something's got to be done, because he's going to hurt somebody, and he's going to cause somebody on his team to get hurt if they don't do anything about it.
Yeah, very miserable total action. You're exactly right. Notwithstanding the Royals, the World Series, they've got a winning record still. Like you said, they're struggling, but that one bad seed can supersede the entire Royals team. And like you said, they're struggling right now, and that's a big distraction that's on the road.
Well, it is, and they have to go to Chicago from here, and that's where it all happened last year. So,
yeah.
They're on this extended road trip. And they're having a tough year. They lost Moustakas for the season. Alex Gordon is out. They were injured on the same collision when they collided with each other. So they're playing with players that were in AAA until these injuries, and I understand all that. But they're still a competitive team, and they are defending champions, and you have to take them seriously. But unfortunately, Ventura taking matters into his own hands, as he did, and because of his track record, it does take away from what the Royals are trying to do. And they had no fight in them last night. They had a horrible night with men on base. Ubaldo wasn't exactly sharp, although I got to give him credit for getting big outs to get out of jams. But I think they left 13 men on base off the top of my head, and they were like 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position, and they had the bases loaded, nobody out, 1 inning, and they only scored 1 run on a bases-loaded walk. Mm-hmm. So obviously they're really, really struggling, and they're frustrated, but that doesn't give license to a pitcher going after a hitter on purpose as he did. I would hope that the league would try to send a message with him. I doubt they'll do it. But he, in my mind, if you suspend him 2 weeks without pay, maybe he'll get the message.
Right, now he's going to be on the radar of every team the rest of the season as well, as we're talking to Jim Hunter, the voice of the Orioles. And, Jim, I guess when you first started with the Orioles, going to you a little bit, you were doing a lot of studio coverage. Now there's weeks that you might do play-by-play of radio or TV. How does your schedule differ? Of course, we know that Fred Manfred's kind of been on the IR as well.
Well, for the first 10 years, I did full play-by-play. First 7, it was radio only. And then for 3 years, Fred and I split the TV and radio, so whichever one was on TV, the other one on radio. And then the last 9 years since Masson came, I was hosting O's Extra when I wasn't doing TV play-by-play and going back and forth. But this year, they decided to move me back to full-time play-by-play. So if I'm not on TV, I'm on radio. And if I'm not on radio, someone has to sit in with Joe. And last night it was Fred. Fred's going to do about 50 games. He's coming back from some surgery in the off season on his back, and it was just time for him to cut back at this stage of his career. So everything's going well. Everybody's still in the mix, and we just for me, it's just a matter of I have the Excel file with the schedule, and that way I know how to dress that day, whether it's TV close or radio close. But I'm really happy being back in the booth full time. It's what I love.
Talking to Jim Hunter right here. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us live on Sports Scene at 12:19. The AL East race is kind of tight. Buck has to like the way the Orioles are positioned. Boston, Toronto, Yankees, Tampa Bay, they're still right there in reach. But it seems like it's the Orioles, if they can just be consistent, stay healthy, and like you mentioned about Machado, he's been injured a lot during his young career. That'll be key going down the stretch past the All-Star break.
Well, it will, and Greg, the bottom line is it's all going to come down to the starting pitching. We knew that in spring training. We knew that watching the 30 games in Sarasota to see if the staff could come together. And there have been some inconsistencies. I mean, we went into the Mike Wright start 2 nights ago where the starters had won 1 game in, I believe it was a 17-game span. And that's too long of a span for a starter not to pick up a victory. Mm-hmm. Now, in the last 2 nights, the starter did get the win. Mike Wright 2 nights ago, and then last night it was Ubaldo, who pitched 5 innings plus the 1 batter and was able to minimize the damage and keep the lead. And, of course, he did have the early lead, and that helped. So that's where the X factor is going to come. The Red Sox have a loaded farm system. If they want to make a trade, they'll have the players to go out and do it. And the Orioles will make a trade if they're in the race because that's Dan Duquette's way of operating. If they have a shot, they're going to go for it. They're not going to sit back and say, well, we can't risk this prospect because in 2 years he may help us. If they're in a position to win now, they're going to do something. But I watched the Red Sox game in San Francisco when I got home last night, and they had a nice come-from-behind win late in the game, and they won in San Francisco in extra innings. And they're not going away because they can hit. We saw that in the first 2 games. In fact, we saw it in the 4 games. Last week at Camden Yards. It was just in the final 2 that the Orioles won. The Orioles actually out-hit them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The Blue Jays kind of settled up a little bit, and they gained a little bit of ground. And I don't know about the Yankees because their age and their pitching is really questionable. And the Rays are an X factor because they can pitch, but when they hit home runs, they win, but they don't seem to hit other than that. So, they're tough to play because their starting pitching is always so good. So it's going to be fun. You're right. It's going to be a great race. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 3-team race like you suggested going into September. And the trading deadline is going to be really interesting because if there's multiple teams in the same division going after players, the price is going to go up. And then it's a matter of, well, how high do you want to go to, A, get that player, or B, keep that player away from your competition.
Talking to Jim Hunter, very gracious of his time. He's got a production meeting in a few minutes, so we appreciate just a few more minutes. And people know about Machado, Trumbo, Davis, Tillman, Wilson, Givens, and so forth. We had, of course, Caleb Joseph. We had him down here on TV a couple of years ago. Before we blinked, he was with the Orioles. He had a pretty good start a couple of years ago. He's been injured himself. Wieters has been injured over the last couple of years, too. What's the health right now of the catchers, and specifically Joseph?
Well, Caleb's doing well. He's returned to the team after the surgery, and the foul ball that got him, he had to have some testicular surgery to relieve the pressure, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what it was because they don't reveal that stuff, but there was some kind of a surgery after the injury. And now that he's back with the team, and he's just in a waiting process as anyone would be following a surgery, and eventually he'll get back to doing baseball activities, and I'm sure he'll have to go to the minors for a rehab assignment. Because when you're away from baseball activities, you got to get back in baseball shape. But the one thing Dan Duquette does very well is he insulates the major league team with depth in the minor leagues. And at AAA Norfolk, there was Audrey Perez, who's a very good defensive catcher, and Francisco Pena, who also is a very good defensive catcher. Francisco was on the 40-man roster, so it was easy to bring him up. And he's done an outstanding job. He's made 3 starts. He's got a hit in all 3, so the hitting is a bonus. And he has caught the last 2 of those starts. And in his last start, he had 5 scoreless innings before it fell apart in the 6th. And last night, he was able to navigate him through 5 very difficult innings because Ubaldo didn't have a clean inning in any of the 5. There were men on base all night, and it's really tough to pitch when you're constantly trying to get a big out. So they're fine right now with Francisco Pena. Wieters has been tremendous. For the last month, he's been very consistent at the plate. He's beginning to hit home runs again. Looks like the elbow's a non-issue. And as usual, he looks great behind the plate. So that's a Dan Duquette credit there to get the depth in the farm system, just in case you need it, because you never know when an injury is going to pop up. And if you don't have somebody there ready to step in, it can be detrimental to the team. And fortunately, he had the foresight to go out and get these guys. He made the trade with Kansas City, ironically, to get Francisco Pena, and Pena caught the game last night. So there's a lot of depth in the minor leagues, just in case. And they're there for a reason. They're there in case somebody needs to come up and spell the big club while there's an injury.
And, of course, those fans know it right here in Norfolk with the Tides playing the AAA affiliate. They go back and forth to Baltimore all the time. Want to leave you, too. Are the fans starting to really get into it now? 57 games into the season. It's still kind of early in June, but before you know it, it will be the All-Star break. What's the feeling with the fans and your overall thoughts about the attendance so far?
Well, I mean, during the school time, and it's still school time, I mean, it's pretty soon they're going to get out. Weekdays are a challenge, but we had a real nice crowd last night. They were enthusiastic. And I never look at that as to, that's for other people to look at.
Sure.
All I know is that the people that show up at the games love the Orioles, and they're very enthusiastic, and they create a great atmosphere.
Right.
So the attendance is what it is. That's not my area. But all I know is that the people that show up love their team, and they get into it. That's fine with me. There was a lot of atmosphere in that ballpark last night, in particular after the brawl, and the fans are really behind this team. So that's what you want. You want people that support your team passionately, and the Orioles have. And
last thing, the Orioles made the postseason in 12-14. Buck is very buttoned up. I know he knows how to do self-preservation very well, but I know, for O's fans all across the country, not just here in Hampton Roads, Baltimore, and everywhere, they do want to get back to the postseason because I think once they're in, Jim, they will be dangerous.
Well, they will be because of the way they can hit, but don't forget, when you get into the postseason, the starting pitching becomes even more of a focus.
Sure.
Because there are built-in days off, and you can pitch your better starters more often. That's why, again, I mean, we're winding back to the same storyline from spring training. It's all about the starting pitching.
Right.
This team is good enough to be a playoff team. They're a playoff caliber team. The lineup is extremely dangerous when they're clicking, as we saw last night. 4 more home runs to break open a game, and they will be dangerous. So you just got to see how it plays out. It's very early. We just passed the 1/3 mark, but I really like what I see. And the one thing about this team that I think is really, really special, there's a resiliency. Whenever they go through a little bit of a downslide, like when they lost the 3 in a row in Houston, doesn't bother them at all. They bounced right back and won 2 out of 3 in Cleveland against a team that at the time was very hot. So the resiliency of this team is something that really, really is special.
Jim, go ahead and plug your Twitter handle, and will you be on radio or TV tonight?
TV today. Yep. Mike Bordick and I on Masson at 7 o'clock.
Very good. And your Twitter handle?
At Jim Orioles TV.
Very good. Jim, thank you so much. It was great to see you on Saturday during the Yankees game, and hope to talk to you down the road.
All right, Greg.
Thank you,
nice
Jim.
Being with you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. Jim Hunter right there, the voice of the Orioles on radio and TV. Folks, we try to give you the best guests anywhere in this market, radio, TV, whatever, through the connections we have on network television. So we bring it right to you. The big fight last night between Machado and Ventura. Who else but the voice of the Orioles right here on Sports Scene, Jim Hunter, breaking it down right here on exclusively on News Talk 1650, tunein.com by typing WHKT. A local tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, and much more. They showcase NASCAR, baseball, NHL, NBA. They got the NBA Finals, NHL, Stanley Cup, college sports, golf, soccer, tennis. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers. Great appetizers, burgers, pasta, salads, seafood. Go by and see Chef Leon at Shore Drive and Matt and Mark at both locations. Kenny, your thoughts overall about what happened last night? Seems like Clinton's narrowing the gap right there for the Democrats, and of course it's going to be a battle. The next few months are going to be drama between her and Trump. Sanders is like that creepy old man that won't go away.
Yeah, someone that follows you in the van with the duct tape and you hope they don't abduct you.
Goodness.
My concern is in 2008, an awful lot of people elected a president based on melanin content, just to be the first to do it, just to say I voted an historic first black man in the White House. I have no problem with that. I had great hopes for the man. I hoped he would use that for positive purposes. We've seen what happened. It turned out to be one of the worst decisions that any electorate has ever made, one of the worst presidents, second worst according to history. Let's not do it again based on estrogen content, okay? We can find a better woman to nominate and elect a president than Hillary Clinton. But that's my concern, is they'll say, well, let's do it because she's a woman. There's a lot more to it than just estrogen or testosterone, kids. Come on, let's not base it on that.
All right, Sports Scene will continue. Ken, take it away.
Looking for sunny skies this afternoon, a high of 82 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 60. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 80 degrees. Mostly sunny on Friday, 81. Warming up for the weekend. Partly cloudy skies Saturday, 91 degrees. Increasing cloudiness Sunday. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms, 93 degrees. Sports Scene is back right after the news on AM 1650, 1230.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. He's still pledging to continue the fight against Hillary Clinton all the way to the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. But Bernie Sanders is acknowledging he'll have a very, very steep fight ahead of him in order to wrest the nomination from Clinton, who won California and several other contests yesterday. Employers may be growing a bit more cautious amid concerns about slowing economic growth. The Labor Department says employers advertised the most open jobs in 9 months in April. However, they pulled back on filling those jobs. Muhammad Ali insisted the tickets for his memorial be free, but some people are looking to turn a profit. Those who manage to get tickets, or some of them, are trying to sell those tickets online. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 59 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Be one of a million people filling the National Mall for Jesus at Together 2016. On Saturday, July 16th, unite in Washington, D.C. with Hillsong United, Passion, Francis Chan, Lecrae, Carrie Joe, Michael W. Smith, Nick Hall, Christine Kane, and many more who believe Jesus changes everything. Go to reset2016.com and say you're going. Sign up, show up, fill the mall.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? With Visiting Angels America's Choice in Senior Home Care, your parents and older family members can continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours per day at affordable rates. To restore your family's peace of mind, call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE or at visiting.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the place locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Military and senior discounts are available. Like them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email the show, bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studios. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson, at Greg Bick on Twitter, at GJBTV, HR1LineMall.com, and Sports Highlight. I want to thank Jim Hunter, the voice of the Orioles, on radio and TV for being our first guest today on Sports Scene. Don't forget archive shows, very easy to find. Go to GJBTV.com, hit the YouTube link for archive latest Sports Scene shows. You can see some really old Sports Scene shows on my website, gjbtv.com, by going to the archives section, the broadcast archives section, when I worked at the game. We even mentioned who the guest names are and how it works pretty much for the guest names on the archives are when you go to gjbtv.com and hit the YouTube link, you click the show, whatever date it is, it'll tell you all the guest names on the show for that day. Shop on the marketplace sponsors of GJBTV.com. Save the date each Wednesday from noon to 1 on Sports Scene. We hope to be talking to Michael Kadire very soon, a former great Major League Baseball player. Hampton Roads Online Mall.com welcomes the tourist to Hampton Roads, your place to browse, shop, and visit to find great retail, services, marketplace, restaurants, coupons, homepage, whatever. Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Bookmark it on your computer. Special thanks to B-Dubs, Papa John's, and TGIFs. Had a really good time at the Newport News Greek Festival last week. This about a week ago, June 2nd to June 5th. A lot of great turnout. And, of course, the Orioles game against the Yankees on Fox this past Saturday was a lot of fun working with Matt Visgersian and the great people over at Fox. And, of course, the Orioles and Nationals still doing very, very well. Orioles at top of that race. We'll see if they can sustain like we talked to Jim Hunter earlier on as well. Introducing lunch at Outback every bloomin' day with your favorites like Aussie tacos made with chicken, fish, or steak, or try the new ribeye melt topped with bacon, cheddar, and garlic aioli, all in a toasted artisan bun. With over 70 lunch combinations starting at only $6.99, it's now lunch at last at Outback, 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. Give them a call at 523-4832. Great lunch, dinner, desserts at Outback. Go by and see Mike and his staff at 1255 Fordham Drive in the Kempsville section. Always something going on. Great atmosphere at Outback in Virginia Beach. We'll be talking to Jennifer Duff soon about fishing. People love to fish in Hampton Roads. That'll be coming up right here. Interact with me at Greg Bick on Twitter. Also, you can add me on Facebook as well. And, of course, all my Twitter handles on the homepage of gjbtv.com. What will happen to the Cleveland Cavaliers? That'll be very interesting to see what they do. Prime time tonight on ABC. They're going back home. They're down 2-0, and their energy level looks flat. They need to really pick it up and say, hey, guess what? The urgency's got to be now. Golden State, they've been injured. They don't seem like they have the fire earlier on when they lost it against OKC, but they are back. They're 2-0. What will Cleveland do in their backyard? yard? We will find out very, very soon tonight. All right, this is Sports Scene, live right here on the radio at 12:37. We'll be back after these messages.
The place the locals and tourists go for U.S. rare coins and currency is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. silver and gold coins, provide free verbal offers, and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Visit them at 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, Tuesday through Saturday, and online at NewcastleCollectibles.com. Call 609-3633. That's 609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball. See the green.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, want to welcome again and thank Jim Hunter for being on Sports Scene earlier today, breaking down the Machado-Ventura fight last night. You thought the fighting only goes on in boxing and happen in baseball, where it does happen in brawls, stuff like that happens as well, but really elite guests right here on Sports Scene. The premier buffet in Hampton Roads is open, Tokyo Grill and Buffet. Indulgence, all-you-can-eat extravaganza. They have Chinese, Japanese, hibachi, sushi, and American food. Tokyo Grill and Buffet is ideal for every occasion, special occasion. They cater to senior citizens and military as well. Lunch at $6.39, dinner at $9.39, Sunday all day is $9.99. They're at 49 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton, and they have takeout as well. Really good place, Tokyo Grill and Buffet. A lot going on. Fishing in Hampton Roads. Summer is here. The tourists are here. The locals are here. Let's welcome Jennifer Duff from the Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you?
Very good. You sound very good as well. And, of course, we had your dad on recently, too. And let's talk about Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. You're right there off of Shore Drive. Talk about the history a little bit.
Well, we were built in 1956. My grandfather was one of the original shareholders, and we've been family-owned and operated ever since, every summer. Very good, very good. So I guess early on, the water was very, very cold. It still is. It's hard to believe it's June, but growing up here in Virginia Beach, I know the water, when you're swimming, it's cold. Now, it seemed like that affected the fishing a little bit early on in April and May. Let's talk about how things have evolved now that we're on June the 8th. Well, the temperature's still hovering, below 75. We keep having cool evenings. We've had tons of rain so far this year. And everything's affected, the fishing, the crabbing. The crabbing has been very unusual this year. We started with crabs right when we opened, when the water temperature was only like 65. And they're still going strong. It's unusual and surprising. The only explanation so far is that we had a very, very mild winter. So they must have decided to come out early when we had that nice warm weather back in March. But fishing has been a little slow. We started out with roundhead and bluefish. The bluefish have gone. We do still have the roundhead, and they've gotten bigger. We're getting some up to about 12 to 14 inches now. And the spot has started in, but don't get your hopes up too much because they're guppy size.
What's causing that? What is the reason you think that is?
Well, when you add fresh water into salt water, it dilutes it. Everything likes to stay out deeper. And then you add on top of that the fact that our evenings have been cool. We've had some cool days. The water temperature just isn't up to what it normally is to have the fish come through there. And it's been my understanding that, other than a few runs here and there, most of the area piers seem to be having the same thing going on. And nobody ever has the same thing at the same time. But, fishing seems to be down across the board everywhere as far as, any distance from shore.
Right. We're talking to Jennifer Duff from Lynn Haven Fishing Pier in Virginia Beach. You can find them on Facebook with a lot of great updates there, and of course, as well as Twitter and their wonderful website. You can see it on gjbtv.com in the marketplace section. Of course, the rule of thumb for fishing was always early in the morning, late in the evening when things cooled off a little bit, or high tide. But like you said, with the water temperature being the way it is, kind of cool, that has affected it a little bit.
It has. Fishing has still generally been better, overnight, after dark, and early morning. We're seeing the roundhead run a little bit around the high tides as long as it's kind of dark outside. Mm-hmm. Not quite sure why that is. Normally it's that way when, the weather's really warm, the water temperature's been warm. It's just been an odd year so far.
Mm-hmm. And you're open 24/7, which is always nice. As I'm sure as it'll get hotter and hotter and hotter, it should help a little bit with the fishing too. As far as bait, you have all types of bait. Talk about your entire facility there.
Well, we have a fully stocked tackle shop. We carry bloodworms and night crawlers for our live bait. We have a handful of artificial baits. We also carry squid, cut bait, finger mullet, shrimp, a few other things, and we pretty much have everything there for you. We have rods to rent if you don't have your own gear or you just simply don't want to haul it out of storage. They're $8, and you leave your driver's license and we will the deposit. And we have carts to rent as well. And, the tackle shop is full of other stuff. We've got snacks, we've got drinks, we've got ice cream. So you don't really have to go far if you forget to bring something with you. Right,
and the good thing about the tourists, too, they can bypass, 264, go right down Shore Drive to get to the ocean front as well, and they can see your beautiful facility right there on the left-hand side.
Correct. We're about a quarter mile east of the Lesnar Bridge off of Shore Drive, which is also Route 60. So we're not very far from a lot of things and fairly easy to get to.
A lot of family fun. Talk about some of the prices for day passes and season passes. We still have a lot of the season left.
Well, a regular adult rate for the day is $10. Children are $6, age 6 through 11. Children 5 and under are free. We also have 3-day passes. Unlike most other piers, our 3-day passes do not have to be used 3 consecutive days. Mm-hmm. You can come anytime during the current season. Those are $25, so you get a $5 savings on 3 admissions. And we also have season passes for those of you that are there every day, and we have lots of people that are there every day. Mm-hmm. Those are $200 for the first pass and $180 for any additional passes in the same family. So, if you say you're going to come out there more than 20 times, the season pass is definitely for you. It'll save you a lot of money.
Right, talking to Jennifer Duff from Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. And, of course, over the years, Jennifer, people have caught all types of things there. Croaker, spot, flounder. Even bluefish have been biting a little bit.
Yeah, we had bluefish right when we opened, a couple little good runs of them. And they seem to have died down some over the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So they've probably moved on up the bay. I'm sure they're getting them west of us at this point. Like I said earlier, we've got roundhead and some small spot, and of course the spot will continue to get bigger over time.
Right. All right, we'll talk about the phone number and leave us for any other relevant information you want to plug.
All right, well, our phone number is 757-481-7071. We are open 24 hours. Please feel free to call. We do a lot of updates on our Facebook page and a lot of interacting with everybody. We do invite you to visit our info section. We probably have answered every question ever asked there. And we also do run a special on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 4 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. With 1 paid adult admission, you get a second admission at no charge. We call that our Buddy Day bargain. And that seems to be doing real well this year.
Very good, very good. Always a lot of specials. Look for the updates on Facebook. Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. Fishing is a lot of fun for friends, family, and all the tourists driving into Virginia Beach. Jennifer, all the best to you and your family, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. My pleasure. Jennifer Duff right there from Lynn Haven Fishing Pier as well. Real men cook with wood at Smokin' Q's. No, that's not Kenny Johnson's restaurant either, folks. They're open Monday through Saturday at the Churchland Shopping Center. Give them a call at 484-7075. They got stuff from the smoker, from the sea, crab cake dinners, wings. They've got excellent salads, sandwiches, soups, sides, kids' meals, drinks, right there at Smoking Q's Barbecue and Grill. Really good homemade stuff right there at the Churchland Shopping Center. Kenny, fishing is so much fun. It's always an activity that the entire family can enjoy.
You know, oddly enough, I had a flashback for whatever reasons. I guess brain cells do weird things. But just a few days ago, I had a flashback to when I was a kid, and I was in the old snack bar at the Lynnhaven Fishing Pier. I mean, I could hear it, I could feel it, I could see it. The old snack bar was essentially just two rooms divided by a wall for people that want to come up from the beach on one side, and if you're already on the pier and paid your admission, you came in the other side. But they had hot dogs, French fries, pickled eggs in the big jar on the counter. You know, the sign on the wall with all the food prices and everything. And it was just a really fun, cool place to go and hang out. And I was there. It's been 40 years, 45 years.
Don't age yourself,
like
Kenny.
that. But I was there at it, and it was like, gee, I wish I could go back to that again. Well, you can still go to the pier.
Right.
But the Lynnhaven Fish House is a little classier than than the snack bar used to be there.
Right, absolutely. Talking right here to Jennifer Duff. I want to thank her as well for being on Sports Scene. Also, Jim Hunter. This is Greg Bicouvaris right here every Wednesday noon to 1 right here on Sports Scene. Tell your friends. A little break from the monotony of the work week as we are in Hump Day on Wednesday. Sports Scene has been on this station since December of 2013. We were on The Game before that. My entire background on GJBTV.com. It's so easy to listen and connect. Just go to tunein.com, type in WHKT between 12 and 1 on Wednesdays. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well on GJBTV.com by hitting the YouTube link, and also tune in. Subscribe to Sports Scene as well with Greg Bicouvaris right there by going to tunein.com. We'll come back with some more great stuff. What teased me off? And we'll be doing prizes in a few weeks, so stay tuned to tell your friends about Sports Scene live right here at 1248.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
The place the locals and tourists go for U.S. rare coins and currency is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. silver and gold coins, provide free verbal offers, and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Visit them at 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, Tuesday through Saturday, and online at NewcastleCollectibles.com. Call 609-3633. That's 609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball. See the green. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Local, regional, national, international sports scene right here on 1650 AM every Wednesday, 12 to 1. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT Sports Highlights on Cox Cable 47, 517 in Newport News, and NNPSTV.com. That program comes on Mondays at 7, 2, and 7, weekends at 9 a.m. We bring you the elite guests and a lot of the connections I have through network television as well. Right here, bringing you the Hampton Roads listener, the entertainment you want, the guests that you want, and the information that you want right here via GJBTV.com. Kenny, let's get to what tees me off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
And we got more time. Kenny, back to this whole gorilla thing in Ohio. Of course, I'm glad they made more adjustments. But let's just say the kid fell into a shark tank instead of a gorilla tank at the aquarium. Would we be crying and saying, oh, the poor great white shark? Still, a kid is a kid. Adults are adults. Human life is more important. But nobody would have cried wolf over a shark.
Oh, I bet there are some. There's some
Really?
right down there off of Brambleton Avenue in Norfolk next to the NOAA that would be screaming if it was anything that was not a human. They'd rather see the humans killed than the animals killed.
Or how about a snake or anything?
That's an upside-down way to look at things, but hey, that's their philosophy.
All right, Bernie Sanders. I'm not endorsing any candidate, Republican, Democrat. I've voted both over the years. I'm not even going to tell you who I'm going to vote for because, as you guys know, it's really to each his own. But I'll say this about Bernie Sanders. Please get a haircut, take a vacation, clear your throat, and stop finger pointing. Didn't your mom and dad tell you that finger pointing is rude? And Bernie, have you seen the results yet? Are you in denial? Ask Kasich and Cruz about that. Kenny.
What else has he got to do? You know, I mean, come on, seriously. He's having fun. He's having a good time. He's on the news. He's out there, even if he doesn't have anything going on this year, if he doesn't get in any kind of elected position, people will remember him. He'll be on the talk show circuit. He'll write a book. He'll probably have his own TV show. That's the name of the game. 90% of what goes on in politics has very little to do with actual governing or representing the people. Most of it is, what can I get out of it?
Right. We had Harry Minium on last week talking about Old Dominion stadiums and all that drama that goes on with that. And, of course, I gave you my 2 cents about satellite camps, which I think they are a joke. I think small colleges need the big colleges more than the big colleges need the small colleges. Saban, of course, has loosened up a little bit more about it. Harbaugh loves it. I am not into satellite camps at all. If you want to go to a big school and see Virginia play or go to Ohio State or go see Penn State, go and see their camp, see their games, and see a big-time atmosphere. Old Dominion does not have a big-time atmosphere at their football games, but it's big time for Hampton Roads. Just ask anybody about their stadium. Their suites, though, are pretty good, but they're not there at the big-time elite level. Ask ESPN that, which is not televising one of their games this year, except if they get to the Conference USA Championship. All right, Old Dominion also needs to look at safety around campus so kids will be safe walking around Hampton, that street over there as well, and just be safe in general, not have to look over their shoulders. Add more police force, too, as well. Kenny, employees who always need the help of managers.
That's true. The whole point of hiring somebody is to hopefully get them to the point where they can do their job themselves without having to have somebody constantly coming along and, well, I need help with this. Okay, you know, after a while, hire somebody that can do it.
Exactly. The Pro Bowl in NFL has always been NFC versus AFC, except for the last few years was a fantasy draw of former athletes picking players, and hope that goes away for good. It sounds like it will be in 2017. All right, when restaurants try to tamper with wings so much, no matter what flavor, they all seem to taste the same. Unless they're spicy, hot, keep it simple. Maybe add a little blue cheese, but don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, chipotle flavored, semi-sweet, hot jalapeno mix. Come on, just a little tang and a little sauce, and we're good to go.
Add a little vinegar.
I like to taste some chicken in there too, by the way.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You know, you add too many toppings, you don't taste what you're actually eating. That goes for burgers too as well. This whole thing about Puerto Rico and the Zika virus, I'm sure it exists, but I've been there 3 times, never saw a fly there. I've seen more flies in Virginia Beach and Newport News than I ever saw in Puerto Rico. I've been there, was there in 2002, 2004, 2014 and 2015. Never saw a fly in Puerto Rico. The whole thing about the Olympics in Brazil, that is scary, though. And, of course, go by what the doctors are telling people to do. But that is going to be some issues there, Kenny. A lot of people interacting, mixing and mingling right there during the Olympics when it's hot, humid, sweaty, that type of stuff.
Yeah, not to mention all the concern about pollution and other things going on in Brazil, too. I'm glad I don't have to go.
Exactly. Kenny doesn't like flying too much anyway. All right, Saffron.
Unless I'm piloting.
Exactly, or first class, Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine, shish kebabs, 10417 Warwick Boulevard. Thank them, of course, for giving away a raffle prize at the Newport News Greek Festival. They got great outdoor dining, really excellent food. Go by and see David and the friendly staff. His phone number is 223-9978, right in Hilton Village. See his nice sign out there. They've got hot and cold appetizers. They've got entrees, fish, kids menu, desserts, wraps, stews, all types of specials. They're open 7 days a week. They've got dine-in, carry-out, and catering. David and the friendly staff at Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine. Like them on Facebook. Follow them as well. You can follow them on Facebook as well, and, of course, follow them on Twitter, too. I want to thank our great guest today, Jim Hunter, the voice of the Baltimore Orioles, breaking down the Machado-Ventura fight between the Royals and the Orioles last night. And, of course, a lot of stuff going on. NBA Finals, Golden State's up 2 over the Cavs. NHL, the Penguins are up 3-1 over San Jose. They play tomorrow night, so a lot of good stuff going on. For archive shows, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the big YouTube link, the big and improved YouTube link on the homepage. Tell your friends about Sports Scene, the premier talk show in Hampton Roads. And, of course, sports highlights on nnpstv.com. We always have great interaction, great guests, and, of course, some big awards coming up as well for sports highlights. So congratulations to everybody over there and that staff as well. And of course, a lot going on with baseball and so many different sports. The Wimbledon's coming up, the U.S. Open golf tournament. So really, Tiger has just announced he's not going to play in the U.S. Open. So it'll be very intriguing to see if an American can do well in the U.S. Open golf tournament. Again, condolences as we dedicated this show to the great late Muhammad Ali. Controversial, very controversial in his young age, but he humbled as he got older, as we all try to do and evolve as well. So, again, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. I want to thank Ken Johnson for his great dedicated work, great producer, great on-air talent as well. So, for Jim Hunter and Jennifer Duff and Ken Johnson, happy Wednesday. I'm Greg Bicouvaris for Sports Scene, and we'll talk to you soon.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth, it's 1 p.m.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As a wealthy businessman, Donald Trump knows a thing or two about making money. Trump says the Clintons, Hillary and Bill, know how to make it as well, but not in the right way, according to Trump.
They've made hundreds of millions of dollars selling access, selling favors, selling government contracts, and I mean hundreds of millions of dollars.
The presumptive Republican presidential nominee planning a speech about that next week. Hillary Clinton, meanwhile, is firing back at Trump.
He wants to win by stoking fear and rubbing salt in wounds, and reminding us daily just how great he is.
Bernie Sanders still in the Democratic race. Camden political scientist Richard Harris says the Clinton and Sanders camps are no doubt talking about the path forward for the party.
I think what's happening now